Hello everyone, and welcome back to Breaking It Down with Alishba, where we take tricky math topics and break them down so that they're easier to understand. Today we are looking at straight lines part 2. So if you haven't already watched part 1, please go and watch the video, as it's really important to know the fundamentals before we move on to today's topic. Today we'll be looking at sketching a line from this equation and also getting the equation of a line from 2 points. Alright, let's get started. So we know that the equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus c. So when we're asked to sketch a graph based on a provided equation, we must first make sure the equation we have been given is in the form of y equals mx plus c. So in the scenario that this is not the case, we need to rearrange the equation to do so. So for example, let's say a question could ask you to plot the graph 2y minus 4 equals 2x. The first step in this case is to rearrange the formula in the form of y equals mx plus c. We do this first by adding 4 to both sides and then dividing both sides by 2, which gives us y equals x plus 2. So now we have the equation in a form which we can plot. Remember, we need to account for two things, the y-intercept and the gradient. The y-intercept in this case is 2 and the gradient is 1. So if we plot this on our graph, it should look a bit like this. Let's look at a trickier example. So I have 2x minus 4 equals 4y minus 8. The first thing I need to do is rearrange it into the form of y equals mx plus c. So I'm going to start by adding 8 to both sides, which will give me 2x plus 4 equals 4y. And then I'm going to divide everything by 4 to isolate the y, which would leave me with y equals a half x plus 1. So now we have the equation in the correct format of y equals mx plus c. We know that m, our gradient, is a half, and c, our y-intercept, is 1. So that's the point where the line crosses the y-axis. Alright, so now we're going to plot the point so we can draw our straight line. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with the y-intercept, which in this case is 0, 1. So I'm going to plot that point just here. I'm then going to use the gradient to plot some further points so that I know what my straight line will look like. Starting from the y-intercept, I'm going to move up 1 unit and then move right 2 units. And this gives me a new coordinate of 2, 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing but in the other direction. So I'm going to move down 1 from the y-intercept and move left 2, which gives me a new coordinate of minus 2 and 0. And using those 3 points, I will get my ruler, in this case my digital ruler, and draw a straight line connecting all of those 3 coordinates together. And that's how you sketch a straight line from an equation. Now we're going to look at the equation of a line from 2 points. We use this method when we're given any 2 points along a straight line with no other information. Essentially, the question would provide 2 coordinates and you'd be expected to find the equation of the line that passes between these 2 points. The method uses one simple equation as shown here. So it's y minus y1 equals m brackets x minus x1, where x1 is the x value of one of the coordinates and y1 is the y value of the same coordinate. But in order to use this equation, we must also find m, which is our gradient. And we already know the equation to find this, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So once we have m and have substituted our values for x1 and y1, we just need to rearrange the equation till we are left with an equation in the form of y equals mx plus c. Let's look at an example together. So let's say I have the 2 points 3 and 4 and 4 and 6. First, I need to find the gradient. So I'm going to use the gradient formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So first I'll label my coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2, which will leave me with m equals 6 minus 4 over 4 minus 3, which simplifies to 2 minus 1, leaving us with an answer of 2. So my gradient is 2. I'm now going to use my x1 and y1 and input that into our first formula, leaving me with y minus 4 equals 2 brackets x minus 3. I'm then going to expand the brackets and simplify. So I'm doing 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times minus 3, which is minus 6, which then leaves me with a sum of y minus 4 equals 2x minus 6. And I'm going to simplify that further by adding 4 to both sides so I can isolate that y. which will leave me with y equals 2x minus 2, giving my final answer of y equals 2x minus 2. As you can see, we have our final answer in the form that we want, which is the equation of a straight line. And that is your final answer. The final thing we'll talk about today is equations of parallel lines. What do we mean by the word parallel? When two lines are parallel to each other, by definition, they will never meet. This means that if you were to hypothetically draw the two lines on an infinitely large graph, the two lines would never touch each other. Therefore, parallel lines share the same gradient but have different y-intercepts. For example, we have the straight lines y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals 2x plus 3. These are parallel to each other as shown in this graph plotted below. They have the same gradient but not the same y-intercept. And then here are two other straight lines. We have y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals x plus 1. And as you can see, they're plotted on this graph below, and these are not parallel lines as they both have the same y-intercept and they cross each other. All right, that's all we have for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and now know how to sketch a line from its equation and also find the equation of a straight line from 2 points. Do let me know if you enjoyed this video in the comments and what you'd like to see next. For now, happy learning. Bye.